embedded message box. If you want to show any message in side page along with other contents, then we can use alert. Now we added a functionality also. The functionality like how to close the alerts. Next, we have another one. We will see model. Model. How we can work with model. Actually, model usually it is a pop-up dialog box with content in backdrop. It is a pop-up dialog box with content in backdrop. We have pop-up dialog boxes with the content in the backdrop. So that is a model. Now, what are the classes we need for this model? What are the attributes classes required for the model? So classes we are having model, model dialog, model dialog centered, model dialog scrollable, model content, model full screen, model content, model header, model body, model footer. These are all model related classes. Designing is also very important. Order is also important for some components. For some components, order is also very important. If you miss a small div or class, it will not look exactly how it is actually. That means you will miss the design. So some classes, their order, their placement is also important. How this works, let's see. Actually, we have attributes to control, to open, close. Generally, we have data BS toggle. Toggle is used to define click action. If you want to define a click functionality, then you have to use data BS toggle indicates click. Define click action for component. So if you want to define click action for any component, then we have to hit toggle. Button click. On button click, which component should work? That component name you have to mention. That means to define click for component, and important is it refers to component name. It refers to component name. Component name means what? Like alert or model, like that. What is the component name? Data BS target. Target is, it refers to ID of component. It refers to ID of component. A unique ID must be there here. Here now ID must be unique. ID problems will come. logically they don't work if same ID is used anywhere else. Target refers to ID, and you know that ID referred using hash. ID, it uses hash reference. It uses an hash reference. ID actually uses a hash reference. So database toggle database target. Yesterday you saw one more. What is it? Database what? Dismiss. Dismiss is it is used to close a component on click. Dismiss means it is used only for closing any component you want to close. Then we have to use database dismiss, and it refers to component name. Which component we have to mention the component name. These are attributes which we use regularly everywhere. Toggle, target, and dismiss. So, how this is going to work? Let's see. As I told you, designing order is also important. So, syntactically, we have a div. We will keep model. Inside the model, we have to use model dialog. Inside the model dialog, we have to use model content. Inside the content, you can have head, body, footer section. Will you have a head or not, body or not? That your wish. But these must be there, compulsory. If you miss dialogue, if you miss content, then it will not behave correctly. Even if you miss order also, they don't behave correctly. Order means first level model, second level dialogue, third level content. By mistake, you given content above, dialogue below, it will not work. So you should exactly follow the order also. Inside content, your wish, body, head, footer, you want, you can keep all three, anyone you can keep, it doesn't matter. That is actually model. Let's see how to design it. So let's open the page, and this is our application, and I will copy these three links, and let's create a model HTML, and in this we have class container fluid. We have a button. So this padding 4 I will give. Yeah. Button is like login. When user clicks, so login, what should happen is I want a login screen. I want a login screen to pop up. That means when user clicks login, a login screen should come. Model means it is not embedded in the page. It will be popped up. Content will be in the backdrop. That means any paragraph, anything will be in the backdrop. So how to design? Let's create a div class model. And here in a page, there can be several models. One for login, one for advertisement, one for register. Then every model needs a unique ID, compulsory. So ID must be in such a way that this ID should not be taken by anybody else in the page. Otherwise, it will not work because jQuery logically have problem with uniqueness, right? And I will give as login. Fine. In this, we have to add a model dialog. In this, we have to add a model content. This is the hierarchy mandatory. In that, we are having model header. In the header, I will give a heading user login. I'm just adding like class BI person circle. Okay. And in this, we will put a button class BTN close. Okay. After that, we are having a class model body. In the body, we will create a data list, data term, username, and a text box, input type text, class form control, and password. We will have input type password, and we have class form control. And in the footer, we are having class model footer. And in the model footer, we will keep a button class BTN warning and say login. We have another button class BTN suppose danger. So cancel. Like this, we are having some options. MX2. Okay. But you see, the model is not displayed in the page. Why? Because you know already you learned in HTML dialogues are hidden. Dialogues are not shown. They will be shown when you use open. So here, when this should open, when I click on login, it should open. So for login, we have to write a click functionality. How to write click functionality toggle? Click action is defined using toggle. So we have to write for the button data BS toggle. Which component it should handle on click? Component name. Component name is model. But there may be so many models. Which model? You have to mention the model ID. How to refer ID? Data BS target. Target IDs are referred with hash. Hash, what is the ID of login? Login, that is the ID. That's it. You can see now, I click on this, a login pop-up will come. This is not alert. This is model. And on close, it is not closing. Cancel, it is not closing because you need to write dismiss. But when I click on backdrop, it will close. So model nature is that. So how do we define here is in the model on close button, it should close. Yesterday we learned what to do. Data BS dismiss. Dismiss is what? Model. On cancel also it should close. Data BS what? Dismiss. Oh, sorry. Dismiss. Data BS dismiss. And dismiss is what? Model. Then you can see I click, it will open. And click cancel. Login not working. Cancel will cancel. And there is one important option. So what is it is you can define transition time using fade for model. You can define transition time, actually transition, not time. You can define transition using fade. Actual, you have a div class model. We can add fade class. We can add a fade class. Fade is a class. So dot fade, that is fade class. If you use the fade class, it will have a transition effect. So that means you see now what we are doing. I'm using for this model. For this model, you have to add fade class also. Then what happens? I click on login, not like previous. Now it will slowly open. It will have a slow effect. And I click on cancel, it will slowly close. So that is the transform we can add for that. Your wish now, header color, body color, anything you can change. Another important is when you put the dialog, I want dialog center screen. I want dialog full screen. Then depends on your requirement. What you do, center screen, full screen, you can apply using these dialog options. So what I am doing, model dialog, model dialog, model dialog centered. Centered is nothing but it will keep on center screen, horizontally, vertically center screen. You want full screen, then you can use model full screen. Model full screen means it will open full screen without any content in backdrop. It will occupy full screen. You can add full screen or you can add so model dialog centered. Sometimes we have a lot of elements in a model. Then what happens if there are so many elements? Then it will go out of screen. Scrolling outside screen is not good. Then what we can do is we can add it will keep the form in the page and only this will be scrollable. Dialog is scrollable, not page scrollable. If there are many things, you can put like this. Now, another important point is currently we are using 5. In 5 version, they have removed one facility. What is that facilities? Nested models not supported. In old version, we used to have, they removed in the new version because the new version, new browsers are not supporting them. Many browsers are blocking. That's the reason. Nested means what? I opened one login. Suppose here I will put some button. When they click the button, from here you can open another pop-up. Pop-up from pop-up. That's not supported now. Only one. You can have multiple, but after closing this, another. You cannot have multiple. If you want multiple, then you manually write by yourself. Using JavaScript, we can write that. So JavaScript allows to open multiple windows and all, we can do that. But Bootstrap have removed nested models from Bootstrap version 5. They don't work anymore. So here one important point is nested models are disabled. So one important note, nested models are disabled from version 5 or disabled version 5. Modern browsers support will not support nested models. That means even sometimes people come and ask like, then if I use old version, will it work? Old version also, old browsers will work. New browsers, they don't work because new browsers don't support at all. This is not the problem of Bootstrap. This is the problem of browser. So even Bootstrap supports, browser don't allow. That is the problem with that. Next important is one more thing you should know here is, as I told you, you can have multiple. I can keep, for example, I will keep an anchor. Anchor is having some text like, suppose, forgot password. Some option is there. Now what should happen here? The forgot password is a link. Then I'm giving href. Okay. First I will design a form for that. Forget password also I want a model. You can have multiple models, no problem. One button, one model, another button, another model. But make sure that you are not designing inside this model. Huh? So anywhere you create another div, and this is the class model. We give fade and ID is forgot and forgot PWD password. Okay. What is the order model dialog? In that we need what? Model content. In that we can have some model header. In the model header we given like so forgot password. So here you put a div class model body text. In a model you can keep anything. Class works as toggle. That means it uses an ID actually. That means href is target na, which path you have to define. So what you do, your toggle will be same, but target will be there. Href is hash. Hash what? Forgot PWD. Database toggle is what? Model. It will open model, but ID is not referred using target because href is target. Href itself is target. If you are using for link, if it is button, button requires target and toggle. If it is link, you have to just give only toggle. Href will use it. And I click on it, forgot password will open. I haven't given a close button, recover itself will close. I click login, login will come. I click forgot password, you can have. So you can have multiple models. Only the point you cannot have nested models. So you can have many models and you can display them on pop-up. But many at a time will not come. So one after another. Suppose I want two models at a time, three models at a time, not possible. Because once you open a model, another model will close. So if you want like that, you can do it, but manually through your JavaScript logic, you can do it. So that is the nature of model. Huh? This is an example for that. This is an example for model. So what is another note here? So if you want any component to handle, if you want on click with a hyperlink, then it doesn't require, database target. Why? You have to use href for ID reference. That is important. Syntactically, anchor href is equal to hash ID. Database toggle is model. So your text or image or anything you can keep there. That is model. Another problem with model is model have only fixed position. Model can be center, model can be top. But sometimes I want a pop-up right side, left side, bottom, top. That's the reason model is unable to open in different direction. That's the reason we have another component of canvas. Actually, off canvas is a new in Bootstrap 5. Earlier, we don't have that. Off canvas is new in Bootstrap 5. And what is specialty? It is same like model, orientations, different directions. So off canvas, it is similar to model, but have orientation left, right, top, or bottom. Different orientations are present. What are the classes required? We have off canvas. We have off canvas start. Start means left. We have off canvas end. End means right. We have off canvas top. That is top. Off canvas bottom. That is bottom. Off canvas have sections. Header. Off canvas body. Off canvas footer. Off canvas title. For titles we have. These are all off canvas. Attributes are same. What are the attributes? Database toggle is same. Database target is same. Database dismisses them. These are same attributes. So off canvas is similar like model, but it has some orientations which are not possible with model. We can have model and off canvas both in a page. Multiple models, multiple off canvas we can have. For example, let's see. So order again same. What is the order? Div class of canvas. So in this we have div class of canvas header. And after the header we have body. So we have a body. And you can have a footer also. So this is one simple option. And as I told you, you don't need to use header, body, footer always. Depends. Now let's see how this off canvas works. How to use off canvas. I will copy this one. Yep. Let's add a new file of canvas dot html. Okay, we have container fluid. Now what we are doing here is we are adding simple nav. Okay, what we will do in this nav? Let's say this is a header. Huh? Yeah. In the header, we have so a button class btn and btn dark bi justify. Okay, so this is having some font size 4 or 3, font size 3. Okay, and there is another button class btn warning and bi cart 4, something cart 4 or 3 something. And let's keep this header as deflex justify content between border and border 1. I'm just adding padding 2. Okay, so we just have this content there. So one is at left and right, we are having this. So this is font size 4, little smaller, fine. There can be so many things else. Now what should happen when user clicks this, a menu should open. When user clicks this, the cart details should open. This should be right side, this should be left side. Then what we do is we need to create. So here we will create of div. Let's class off canvas. Off canvas requires an ID. This ID is menu. Class off canvas header. In this heading, so we have Amazon shop. Okay, we have a close also. Class btn close. Database dismiss off canvas. It should close off canvas. And we have a class off canvas header body, body. And off canvas needs a direction. In the body here, direction is what? Off canvas start. Start means left. This will be off canvas title. That is off canvas title. In the body, yesterday we learned unordered list item, like so some home. You learned list group now. So this is list group item and list group item, list group item, item some success or something. Just roughly I'm adding these. Okay. So we have these options defined like home, men's fashion, women fashion, something, kids, like this. Just roughly I added this in the body. That's fine. Now what should happen on this button, left button, database target. Target is hash menu and database toggle. Toggle is what? Off canvas. That is the component name. And when I click on this, it will open like this. This is an off canvas. It will be left side. That is off canvas. Header color different, border body different. You can put different backgrounds. Now this is off canvas, how it is there. Now you can, direction is this. Here you just change the direction. Off canvas, the option I given as end, then obviously it will come right side. Right, you can set up a direction there. Suppose off canvas bottom. So you see it will open in the bottom. That depends where you want to show. So here we will keep a start. So that will come with a start. And you know how to design another one, right? Right. So what you have to do, design another off canvas. And this off canvas will be end, and this ID will be cart. And here you say your cart. Okay. And so here we display items like whatever items are there, they can show. So your cart items, just roughly I'm giving. You can put some image if you want, like img source. We have public images a1.jpg, width 100, height 100. Okay. Now I am adding these your cart items 2.jpg, 3.jpg, like this. And this should open for the second button. So what is it? Database what? Target. Target is hash cart. Database toggle. Toggle is what? Off canvas. And you can see this will open right side and this will open left side, right? You can have off canvas. What is difference between model and off canvas is three difference. Alert is embedded in the page along with content, but these are pop-ups. Model will be in the center scrollable, but it can't have orientations. You want orientation, you can use off canvas, right? So this is another example. That is example of off canvas. We have alerts, models, off canvas, all three similar things. Next important, you have carousels. Carousels, lot of points are there. Levels, several levels are there for carousels. I will show you. Carousel is nothing but it configures sliding and fading content in page. You can control manually or with auto timer. So that is the concept of carousels. We can control manually with or with auto timer we can. And as I told you, so many levels are there. And generally people use according to their requirement. Everywhere they don't use same. Different requirements will be there. What is it? Let's see first. We will see basic carousel classes. What are the basic carousel classes? We have carousel inner, and carousel item. These are three basic classes for carousel. As I told you, so many levels are there. First level, we will create a small carousel, simple one. Later, we will add more according to requirement. Carousel inner, and carousel item. You will see how to handle them, how we can manage. These are the basic carousel classes. Let's see. So first, I will open any images here. So Amazon, I will take Amazon. In Amazon, let's say snipe. Let's take the snipe tool. Okay. And here, this is the image. I will copy this one. This is one image. Let's copy this as slide one in our project. Where is our project? It is in D drive brand factory. Okay. D drive brand factory, public images. Slide one, it's a PNG file. Okay. I will take another one. and I will copy another. Let's capture this part also, and I will save this as slide 2. Okay. Okay. I will take another one and let's capture this as slide 3. Okay, we have 3 slides. Now we want this in our page. Let's copy this and we will add a new page, carousel.html. Okay, let's design the page, and we have container fluid. Yeah, we have a div class carousel. Inside the carousel, we need a class carousel inner. Inside the inner, we need to keep items. That is order. Carousel item. We need to keep. How many items you want? 3. Item 1, item 2, item 3. You can put anything inside item. Text, form, images, anything. It's not necessary that carousel means only pictures. It can be anything. I will put so many different also and show you. Initially, first item is an image and it is public images slide 1 and a class w100 width 100. I will give all images because I captured through my screenshot. Height may be different, little bit variations. Then better all images keep same height without disturbing height. Height I will give 300. Okay. Now that's enough. I will copy second item, slide 2, a third item, slide 3. We are having 3 images. So what is the basic order? Carousel in that inner, in that items. That order is important. Class carousel, in that carousel inner, in that carousel item, carousel item. And this is any number of items. That means you can have any number of items. So multiple items you can have. Make sure that all are in carousel inner. All items are in carousel inner. That is the first basic hierarchy. So carousel inner, carousel item. Now, what is here is why I am giving all these syntaxes, because generally you people have a lot of overconfident about I will copy paste, I will use all these things. But in real time, when any problem comes, you can't handle. You can't handle because they don't show where the problem is. And if you haven't learned the order correctly, then you can't even identify where the issue is in Bootstrap. Because Bootstrap will not show any errors saying that you missed this class, saying that the class is not here. Simply it will not work. And there is no software in the world which will show you corrections about Bootstrap. There is no debugger also. Then if you don't properly practice in order, then you can't handle the issues. So because many times people what they do when they come to bootstrap, copy paste and modify, that will not work out. You may be satisfied with result thinking that you achieved it, but in reality in real time that doesn't fit correctly. You can't handle. Any issue comes, you cannot manage because a person who writes everything, he understands exactly which element, where, which attribute is required, and he knows what is missing also, right? So actually, as I told you, your generation is lucky you are having Visual Studio Code, but we used to write in Notepad. That means with our HTML, CSS, JavaScript, Notepad, we have to write in Notepad. We don't have any intelligence compilers, so very effective like now. So you have a lot of facilities, debuggers, tracking issues. Earlier, Notepad only the editor we used to use. Every logic we need to write in Notepad, even Java, .NET like programs also. So the point is order, attributes, you need to remember them. So you see now, I designed everything, okay, but in the output, you will see nothing, empty. In the output, you will see everything empty, nothing is there. Why? Because the concept is first important point. So make sure that any one carousel item is active. That is very important. Make sure that any one carousel item is active because you have designed three items, but it will not show any item. At least one item should be active. That means how do we define div? Class, carousel item, and it is active. We need to use active. That is carousel item active. That is div class carousel item. That is important. And you cannot have multiple items active, only one should be active. So let's see, because it is not showing. So what I will do, first item active, that is compulsory. Then you see the first item is there, that is active. Suppose I kept this active to the second item, then second item will be active. So you can keep active any one only. If you give active for this, what will happen? It will work for latest, but later it will create problems. Later, when you are doing animation, it will see that multiple are active, it can't work. So you should make sure that anyone is active. Anyone is active. That is the first basic point. Okay. Now, photos not changing. That means carousel is there. First item is active. That's it. Carousel is not working because carousels will not start animation. We have to start manually. That means second important thing you should know. Make sure one is active. Next, carousel carousel will not start automatically. It requires the attribute database ride. We have to use the attribute database ride. Carousel will not start automatically. Carousel will not start. We have to use the attribute database ride. database, right? So where we have to write this, we have to write this in carousel. In carousel, we have to use database write, and what to write, carousel to write. That means database write will start executing the carousel. That means it will start running the carousel. So database write, you have to mention which component to write. So carousel to write. That's important. So first thing, make sure that one item is active. After that, make sure that you have defined this for carousel. So what we need to do? So let's go to carousel, and here we have to use data bs ride as carousel. Okay. Now see here, first slide, after few seconds, second slide, after few seconds, third slide. But animation is not smooth. Animation is not clean. It is not smooth. It is simply blinking. That means it is flickering. First picture, flick, second picture. Animation is not smooth. For that, we have to use one more point. That means carousel animation. Animation is not smooth. You have to, you have to set, so slide dot slide or carousel, carousel, carousel fade. You have to set slide or fade. Two types of animation effects are there. You can use any of these, either slide or fade. Div class carousel. Here we have to use slide. This is one way, or we have to use div class carousel, and we have to use carousel fade. Fade. Like this, we need to use. Both you cannot use, either slide effect or fade effect. Carousel have only two types of animation effects: carousel slide or carousel fade. So once you mention ride, then in, right? Okay, let's do now. I will go to carousel, and here you will put slide. Okay, you see now when I put slide, this is first. After that, second, it will be smooth. Animation will be smooth. Some problem? It is smooth animation. That means the first slide, after that second slide, that will be smooth in animation. Otherwise, it will flicker. We have another point. Instead of slide, what we can do? Instead of slide, we can add, what is it? Carousel fade. We can use fade. Fade is a different effect. Instead of sliding, what it will do in that place itself, it will fade. That is fading effect. Sometimes what we do, advertisements, banners, something. Remember, carousel means not large photos. A carousel means a small box also can be carousel. You see some websites in this box, they will be changing advertisements, fading. One ad fade with another ad. That means it's not like carousel means big, large sliding photos. It can be small box also, right? It depends on how you define. Now I will give an option called slide. Slide. This is the basic carousel. Many websites just put like this. Many websites just put like this and they will use. They don't want anything extra. That means some websites just use the basic carousel. So this is example of basic carousel. This is example of basic carousel. These are basic carousel classes. But what some websites want, some website want to control the carousel. That means left button, right button, previous, next. They want manually to control. If they want manually to control, then we have carousel controls, carousel controls. We have carousel controls. Everywhere we don't use them, depends on situation. We have carousel controls. So we have carousel control preview and carousel control preview icon. Carousel, carousel, yeah, carousel control next. Carousel control next icon. These are carousel controls. Controls allow to navigate left and right. That means you can go to previous, you can go to next by using controls. So the controls main purpose is allow navigation. You can navigate left and right and you can try them. But everybody don't need them. Sometimes we need these carousel controls. How to control these? By using data BS slide preview. This is for navigate navigate to previous. Data BS slide next. This is for navigate to next. Data BS target is required. Target is nothing but it refers to carousel ID. So if these buttons should work, carousel needs an ID. Which carousel should move next, that you have to mention using ID. So we have carousel previous, carousel next, and these are the functionalities for them, next and previous. You see now here. You see, I want to add these buttons also inside. Then what I will do, after the carousel inner is completed, then I will put a button. This button will have a class carousel control preview, and it needs a span carousel control preview icon. That is previous icon. Icon is that symbol. And we have another button. This button have a class carousel control next. And we have a span carousel control next icon. That is the icon. You can see now carousel contains the buttons, but light color buttons are there. They are good if your background is dark. Then what we can do is, here we have data BS theme. We can put as dark for dark controls. Depends on your images. Actually, this is new in Bootstrap 5. Bootstrap 5. Previously, what they have done, Bootstrap 5 also 5.2, 5.3 are there. It is new in very latest. And previously in Bootstrap 5 only, they used to apply that by using a class. Previous versions use a class that is carousel dark. They use a class carousel dark. So which is deprecated. Deprecated means no longer recommended in new version, but it will still work because any software, any option, they don't remove immediately. They will warn and keep it for few months and years also. After that, finally they will remove. Why? Because suddenly they remove an option which are already being used in so many projects, it will create a lot of issues. So they will warn that, saying that we are removing this, please don't try in future. But they will keep it. It will be still working. But it is not recommended to use it anymore, right? Actually, what you can do, you can go in the carousel. We can put here carousel dark. You can see carousel dark will give dark buttons. Will give dark buttons. But this is outdated now. That means it is not recommended to use this carousel dark anymore. So what we have to do to put dark, we need to add a new option. What is it? Database theme. Theme is what? Dark. Now it will be dark. So same thing, two options are available. But these buttons are not working. Why? Because you have to write functionality. What is it? We need a carousel ID also. Na? Where is this carousel? Carousel needs an ID. What is ID? Banners. That is the ID. Okay. Now what we have to do? This button, data BS target. Target is hash what? Banners. Data BS slide. Slide prev. We have to use previous. And what is this button? Database target is what? Hash banners. And database slide. Slide what? Okay. You can see automatically every few seconds it is changing. And manually also working. Suppose it is going there. I click this button, it will come back. I can click this button, it will go forward. You can change. That means we can use previous, we can use next. It is going to change previous and next. This is carousel with controls. That means we can have controls. This is example of carousel with controls. How do we define carousel with controls? But in some websites, suppose there are 20 photos and user have to go to 19th photo, then 19 times he need to click next, 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 next. Then if you want random navigation, then we use another technique for carousel. What is it? We have carousel indicators. We use carousel indicators. Indicators allow random navigation between items. You can go to any specific item you want. Indicators allow random navigation between items. And some websites use indicators also. Indicators means you can go to previous, you can go to next. Indicator means directly you can go to any specific. And what are the classes for this? Just we have carousel indicators. That's it. What are the attributes you need? We need attributes like data BS target is same. Data BS slide 2. Slide 2, it uses an index number. Index number 0 is equal to first. From 0, it will start index number. Slide 2, specific number. First number, second number, third number. That is attribute required. Data BS target and data BS slide 2. So this is indicators, carousel with indicators. We have indicators. Carousel indicators. Now let's put these indicators Now, what I will do here, below these buttons, I will add a div and class carousel indicators. Okay. How many indicators? Those many buttons. That means we have button 1, button 2, button 3. You will see indicators will come here. These are indicators, but still they are not perfect. Why? Because they need all attributes, those indicators. What are the attributes? Data, BS, target. Target is hash banners. Data, BS, slide to 0. That is first one. This button will slide to first one. Second button will slide to second one. Third button will slide to third one. That means index will start with 0, 1, 2. And one more very important is make sure that one indicator is active. Another important, make sure that any one carousel indicator is active. And here very important point, always keep the active item and relative indicator as active. Always keep the active item and relative indicator as active. That means first item you said active, and in indicator second button you give active, that will be clumsy. That means it will misbehave. First item is active, then first indicator should be active. Second item is active, second indicator should be active. The same thing you have to set up. And make sure that one carousel indicator is active. Any one carousel indicator. Now you can see here, I will make sure that one is having a class called what? Active. One carousel indicator should be active. And you see now indicators also perfectly there. You can see indicators also changing. Dark background is changing for them. The second one is working, third one is working. And you can directly click on indicator. First one will get the first one. This one get the third one. You can directly navigate to any place you want. Right? This is first, second, third indicators we want. Right? Sometimes we use with indicators also. This is an example with carousel indicators. With indicators. You do one thing. You try one thing. What you do? You make these indicators round. Can you make round? Is it difficult? Huh? Then why you are looking very strange? As if I asked you to go to space and come back. I just asked to make them round, right? Is it difficult? You try, right? I want those indicators round. Actually, sometimes people use radios, but radios are not required now because that requires little logic of JavaScript. You use just round button. You try round button for that, right? One more point is that we can control timing for every item. Suppose I want first item fast. First item is 4 seconds I want. Second item I don't want that much time, very fast, because depends on my requirement. We can control the timing. We can control the carousel timing. Carousel timing. We can control the timing. You can control the carousel item timing by using data BS interval. By using data BS interval attribute. It requires milliseconds. So milliseconds means what? 1000 is equal to 1 second. 1000 milliseconds is equal to 1 second. Where we have to apply for carousel item. We have a carousel item. There we need to apply data BS interval. Interval is equal to some 3000. That means 3 seconds it will be there. Every item needs a timing. Every item needs a timing. If you want to change, you have to keep every item timing. If you don't give by default, some timing will be working for that. You want to change, then you have to use data BS interval. You need to keep this for carousel. For example, I want to keep this now. Let's say this is first item. Yeah. Data BS interval is suppose 4000 milliseconds. That is 4 seconds. Second item, I will give only 1 second. Third item, I will give some 5 seconds. And you see now, this is the first item we are having. First item will stay 4 seconds. Second item is very fast because I just given only 1 second. Third item again more time. First item 4 seconds. Second item is very fast because I changed the timing for that. Every item you can have different timing. You can keep any timing for that. That is generally done by using interval. We can set interval. So, and as I told you, you can keep anything, right? For example, suppose I have another carousel item. So timing is 5 seconds. Here I am not using image. I will use a div. I will put a style height as 300 pixel and I will put a class deflex, justify content center, align items center. In this again div I am giving. In this again div I am giving class I will give as some input group. And here we have a input type as email, class as form control, and we have a button class btn danger, and we have like so get started. So what I am doing here is get started, and we have a span class bi chevron, right? Okay, now you can see here it is going to set up all this. And one more item we need to add now. That means now we need a third button also, fourth one. It number what? 3. And you can see this is the second one we are having. That means I am not having an image. I just have a form here. We can enter some details. Sign up, login forms. A banner means a carousel means it can have anything. It's not just image. You can have some text into that. That depends. So this is one example of how we can use different timings for carousel. The various ways of using carousel, right? This is enough for today, right? You have learned too many things again. So models and off canvas and carousels. Tomorrow we will see nav bars and some more controls, drop downs, nav bars, how to design them. That we will see in tomorrow's session. In mostly tomorrow, day after 1-2 days, we will finish this. Then we will go into JavaScript concept now. We will get Tailwind also I will show you. Tailwind is same like Bootstrap, but I will just give an idea because all same like Bootstrap. Different extra classes will be there. Those classes you have to learn by yourself only because you learnt colors, text contextual means text danger. There they will have 20 shades for danger. That's only the difference. You will find that. I will give you that idea also how to do that. So, but remember, perfectly you have to practice this bootstrap, because otherwise you can't manage later in React, JavaScript, jQuery, because everywhere we use it. That means we design all the interface with bootstrap only. We use it. You have to practice very well. Okay. Then tomorrow we will continue. Okay. Right.